This is the 256th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the first week of 2017. This episode is titled, Welcome to 2017. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by The Permissioner by Arkus. Mass assign and revoke Salesforce permission sets. It truly is permission sets made easy. Available for free on the App Exchange or go to thepermissioner.com. I'm your host, Jason Atwood. Joining me, co-host, first time in 2017, Justin J. Edelstein.
Oh, it's the first time in a month and a half.
We have not...
Since before Thanksgiving.
We have not podcasted.
We are so sorry.
We are... There was debate, although I think the debate is over, but there was debate on maybe changing the name of the podcast.
Yes.
From CloudFocus Weekly to CloudFocus.
Just CloudFocus.
Just CloudFocus. Actually, that'd be better. Like Just Jack.
Just CloudFocus.
Just CloudFocus. It's like CloudFocus, but it's just CloudFocus.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. Because you know what?
Guess.
If we do it twice a week, or once a week or once every other week, then fine. We definitely been slacking over the holiday season. But
we
can be back. We're back now. It's 2017. We're kicking off. We're actually doing it in the first week of 2017, so that's good.
In theory, we've done one every week in 2017.
Done.
And not even theory, in factually correct.
I will say, I am traveling a lot in the next couple of...
And then I'm out.
Right. So what I've talked about doing...
Injured concerns.
What I've talked about doing, and I've listened to some other ones, like Freakonomics does this. They do rebroadcasts.
Let's do that.
So I've listened to a couple just to find out how they did it. They do it by getting on and actually saying something. Hey guys, this is Jason from CloudFocus Weekly, and I'm letting you know.
That.
Yeah, thanks. So I have to do work. Once again...
Well, who would do that?
Not you.
Who would do it?
Not you.
Right. So you.
All right. So then we just pick episodes from the past.
Episode 100.
Now here's my question. When I rebroadcast...
Yeah?
It's not a new episode number, is it? Question mark?
It's a new episode number.
So is it 257?
No, I think it's like it's like a new series.
It's like CloudFocus Weekly.
It's like CloudFocus Weekly Classics number 1.
That's not happening. So if I were to rebroadcast next week one from our archives, again, we have 256 of these things.
I think it'd be number 257.
You think so?
I do.
I have to do more research on that.
I want to pad the stats. I'm juking the stats.
Well, in that case, we have at least 3 more years with four more years of podcasts. We can do weekly.
I mean, how many can people listen to right now? It only goes back 100
in iTunes.
How about on?
They're all 100.
They're all available.
The feed,
right?
They're all available on the website.
Right. If you go to the website, they're all there.
But we did change platforms once.
Oh, that's true. We changed the hosting.
I don't think we went back all the way to the end. So I have them all,
of course.
But I just have to figure out. I have to figure out how to do that, like how to record it. But I think that might be a good option. Then I can come in. I could record like 7 or 8 openings, right? And then whenever it's time to do that week, I can just throw it up there.
Yeah.
We'll put something in the tail that says rebroadcast.
We can do like the streaming one again for people who've joined us recently, who heard us do our part 2 version of the streaming.
Right.
You know, we can go back and do like the GTD episode, the special episodes.
There are, but there's not that many that are like...
There's at least 8.
I mean, like, who's going to want to hear about Spring 14?
Well, you did pick Spring 11 once.
Spring 11.
As your pick of the
week. And Spring 14 was
12.
the one that I hated, right?
Yeah. We can always do like that special episode we did on that NGO thing.
Oh, yes. NGO.
NGO. Just leave it there.
All right.
Good.
All right, but we're back. We got a little bit of time today, so we've got to catch up because while, again, as the podcast is not always on point, the blog at blog.arkusinc.com keeps on going, does not stop. So we have not 1, not 2, but 3 blog posts that we can discuss. And
nice.
And then we get to our quick, and we have some fun stuff coming up. So we'll talk about that in a second.
We have spring coming up.
I have spring coming up. So why don't we go? I don't know what order. I think I do in an order. Let's go to yours as the first one to discuss.
Okay.
And this is sharing knowledge about being a Salesforce sharing and visibility designer by Justin Edelstein.
Sharing the knowledge.
Oh, Edelstein?
Edelstein.
Edelstein.
That's me.
Well, if I mess up everybody's name, then it makes everybody feel okay. Or not. All right, so...
Probably not. So
tell me about this. What is this? Why am I listening? Why did I read this?
Good questions. So Salesforce University and the certification realm has grown. Right. So they've changed quite a bit over the last year to two, whereby there's the administrators, which has always existed, and then everything else kind of changed. So there's app builder, there's platform developers, which there used to be developer, which was more aligned with app builder. And now there's marketing stuff, there's Pardot stuff, which they don't include in part of the marketing stuff, which is a little weird. And there's implementation stuff as far as consultants.
Yep.
And then they broke down the architect and broke it into these architect domain credentials. So there used to be just technical architect, and it was a very intense and challenging test. It was you had to take a multiple choice test that was free just to see if you qualified to even start the actual real test.
Right.
And you had to go in front of a board and present architecture and build things and write things and just very intense.
So you have to read things?
I don't know, maybe. So what Salesforce did do, though, was break out and say, there is this very big overarching technical architect credential
thing
that people can obtain, but there are specialties that people have. And there are things like, and I'll read them out, there's sharing and visibility designer. That's what I wrote about. I wrote about a bunch of tips and tricks and hints around what to look for when you're going for that particular domain credential. There's also mobile solutions architecture designer, integration architecture, identity and access management, data architecture, development lifecycle, and deployment. Now, if you do all these, it doesn't mean you're a technical architect. It just means you have a specific expertise in a particular area, and you get a credential for it.
But you actually get a certified credential.
Actual certification.
I'm looking up yours now.
Oh, yeah.
And you got the Salesforce Certified Sharing and Visibility Designer first on June 17th.
June 17th.
That's terrible. They went 2016.
Oh, okay.
No, you went and took a test on my birthday? Like, seriously?
Yeah, I don't care.
Thanks.
That's why I passed.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so I have that one.
Yeah, you have way too many
I have
stupid
a lot
things.
of those.
Yes.
So yeah, I wrote a blog post. You can go read it at blog.arkusinc.com.
Yes, you can.
And you can read the high levels. I wrote about profiles and roles, still the king and queen, org-wide defaults and sharing rules, permission sets, Apex sharing, and just some links out to some stuff, including the page that talks about the actual credential itself, which has the resource guides, the study guides, what the test is about. So, like, it's 60 questions, 68% is the passing score, which is, I think, a little low.
Yeah.
$400 to take it, and you get a serious...
Not cheap.
Yeah, well, this is a serious...
Was that your birthday gift to me?
It's a serious certification.
You said it was pretty easy.
But that's like, I'm kind of a, I don't know.
You're kind of a big deal?
Well, and when it comes to sharing and visibility and security, I know that stuff really, really well.
It's like you. It's who you are.
If you were to ask me, what's the one thing you know the best, that would be the thing I would say.
The wire.
Aside from the wire. It's like, if you were the Omar, what's your Omar of Salesforce? I would say it's sharing and visibility and security.
You're a homicidal maniac of Salesforce?
Yeah.
I don't know if that analogy works.
My McNulty of
Too soon. All right, we'll move on. We are definitely moving on.
All right.
Next one.
Moving right along.
Up by Amy Bucciferro is a cool one. I think she came up with by herself, or maybe I don't know. Have you done this one before? We have some that we kind of do over and over again because they make sense. Like they're release ones, or the one I'm going to do next is one I've done 7 times in a row. This one is called the End of Year Salesforce Administrative Checklist. So all the stuff you can do at the end of the year to think about to get ready in your org. And some of these are things that you do forget to do. You have to go to the next year and ooh, I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
So she lists off a bunch. Why don't we each pick one and talk about it?
Do you want to go first? Since I always go first and get my first pick of the litter.
You can go for it.
All right, I'll take the first one because I think it's a good one.
And it's the one you actually had to do.
Yeah, reports and dashboards. So, I mean, not always the best practice to hard code date ranges into filters in reports, dashboards, and I'll include list views in that as well. Always good to use this year, this month, if you need one date, or if you need a range, to use the drop-down picker that does previous calendar year, this current calendar year, this month, last month, this week, last week, whatever.
I did get that as a question from a client because they went in on January 3rd to hit the report that was what happened report, and it was empty, and and everybody freaked out.
It was the this year report.
It was the this year report.
Had happened.
So in some ways, it's great.
Last year,
I gave that advice. I said you could either hard code it or you could just create this year and previous year, and you have to teach them, hey, go to the one that's previous year if you want to see what happened last year.
Right. So, but sometimes you're caught in a situation where you have to hard code the dates.
Like work.com.
And sometimes when you're using work.com and you don't want the goal or the metrics that are tied to reports to just completely look like nothing happened year over year, you really need to hard code dates because if you want to look at something on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis, you have to point it at a report that's very specific to that month or that year. So you have to be cognizant of the fact that you can go and change your report filters and your list view filters. You can also, as Amy astutely points out, use your admin superpowers to run a report on reports that includes the last run date and clean up some of the items that are no longer in use by moving them into some other folder for deletion if nobody asks for them back. So it's also a good time to just clean up the reports tab and all the folders in general.
It's nice you can have as many reports as you want, but you can have...
Sometimes search on the reports tab is really great. And it didn't always exist, so I'm glad it's there now.
Me too.
But and you also used to not be able to report on reports either, so that's a good thing too. But sometimes the list of reports and the list of folders is a little daunting.
It's a lot because you can create a lot. I'm going to go to products and price books. So that's something that every year you got to kind of think, are we changing our products? Do we have things that are in it that are year based? This is the 2017 model, 2018 model, or are we raising our prices? So then going in and changing the products or the price books to reflect the new price. So definitely things you got to think about. When we do this yearly, got to go in, got to change it. You have to think about, where was this thing built and what time period did we change? Do I have to go and refresh the price book? Definitely things to consider as you go through on a yearly basis. What's the other thing? I'd also say look into all the Chatter collaboration stuff. If you find a lot of these groups and things, that's an extra tip, not in this. Go into Chatter. You find groups that aren't used. Go in there, turn on the auto archiving, let them archive away, let them just kind of go away. People create a lot of noise, and you might not need it. Or maybe even compliance stuff you need to get rid of. You have to get rid of it after a year. So things like that you might want to do on a yearly basis. All right, well, that was that. That's at blog.arkusinc.com. That's the end of the year Salesforce Administrator checklist.
Right.
Now, up for the last of the blogs.
Here we come.
Here we go. I think one of the longest running series. This is the 7th year in a row I've done this, which is my cloud computing predictions for insert date. 2017. I wrote this last year, so if any of this has already happened, it was published last year. I doubt any of it's already happened. The year before 2015, I think I hit a couple, or I got a couple crazy ones, or something or close. This year I didn't do so well. I talked about Hulu. I thought that Apple wasn't going to release a new Apple Watch. That was kind of crazy. I did do something about FanDuel and DraftKings, and they got sort of how they'd not be able to survive, or the government would squash them like a bug. Interesting enough, they merged. Although there's different platforms. I was talking to the person who should not be named about it because he's on one platform and not on the other. And he was saying that he likes one, doesn't like the other. They're totally different platforms, totally different systems. But what I did notice this year, how much advertising have you seen for either one of those things this year compared to last year? I mean, last year it was absolutely in our face constantly.
You're right. I see them more as sponsors.
Yes.
As opposed to advertisers now.
It used to be every other commercial was FanDuel, DraftKings, FanDuel, DraftKings.
They're more like in-game sponsors, like the FanDuel or DraftKings. Like I watch a lot of Nick games on the local MSG here.
Right.
And they've got a nice integrated sponsorship where during the game they'll just pick out, or during the pregame and during the game and the postgame, they'll pick out like the DraftKings Kings of the Night or whatever, and they'll just pick 3 guys.
Right.
When you're at a game, there's signage for DraftKings.
Right.
So,
but that stuff, just as a note,
sponsorship.
But that sponsorship stuff that they did last year, meaning it takes a year to get that stuff into the cycle.
Not necessarily.
It's also stuff you can't pull out of very quickly. Like once you've signed up,
that's a contract that
versus
you're building
advertising,
graphics
TV advertising, you can pull out very quickly.
Sure,
you can. Right?
No, that's fair. I've seen, but I have noticed sponsorship over advertising.
And I think what's happened is obviously with all the hoopla over them, and they've either had to shift and just say, hey, either we have enough users, although the person who should not be named said that it feels like there's less people. There's less people using the service. Hey,
I don't use it. I don't do it.
I use it a couple times. It's not really my thing.
I've never really gotten into it. I feel like
the
playoffs are sort of a fun time to do it for football, but I mean, basketball, there's basketball every night. So, I mean, I'm a big fan. I could be playing every night. I could be playing.
All right, so I picked a couple things, and I, like always, I put a useless confidence point.
Totally useless.
Why don't you pick one that you want me to discuss and why you think that it will happen, and then I'll pick another one.
Well, there's your confidence 10 one. Like, this is definitely happening.
This is definitely happening.
Movies come home.
I think this is
This is confidence 10. This is like I know this is happening.
This is rumored, very well rumored, that there's lots of talks that the movie industry is struggling. They're beset on all sides. One is they have incredible TV happening, like TV as a thing, streaming TV. Television's never been better in terms of quality of television. That's the truth. Then you have sort of the experience at home. You can get bigger, flatter, brighter, beautiful screens, and so more people are staying home. You can get movies from millions of different ways and stream them and get them in 4K. I mean, it's so easy to get movies. So people were struggling, and then movie experience is getting harder and harder, right? The people talking, there's the texting, smartphones making the movies worse. So there's sort of a how do we make money on some of this stuff? The rumor is that they're going to take released movies as they release. So the big blockbuster, let's say Wonder Woman, which is coming out, they would then release it to the theaters, but also release it to a premium purchasing or rental streaming service at the same time.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the rumors is that Apple's talking to them about having you would pay a serious premium. Now, I know there's a service, and I think I remember talking about this, that you could sign up for, and it was like $1,200 a month or something. Remember? And they would send you the digital files and this but you'd get them at the time. It was very, very expensive. But this is going to make it more in real. So if you figure, how much would you pay? Okay, so you're a moviegoer.
I want to paint a scenario for you
yes.
that I don't think you've covered and mentioned.
Okay.
Amazon.
Yes.
Is a production company.
Yes.
Who put out movies in the movie theater.
Okay.
So they could very easily
Yep.
decide, okay, Amazon Prime users or Amazon Prime Plus movies,
right.
whatever, any movie that is an Amazon movie, like these are real movies that go, get distribution and are really out there in the movie theater. You get them on Amazon. You get them on Amazon streaming at the same time that we put them out there,
right?
Because they're like going the other way, right? They're actually producing movie content to go into the movie theater.
Yep.
And they could very easily flip a switch and be like, okay, it's on Amazon Prime now. Like it was in the theater on Friday, and it'll stay in the theater exclusively through Sunday, and then Monday it's going to be on Amazon.
Right.
Done.
And obviously, there's always issues. If you're someone who, if I know it's coming on Monday, I'm probably not going to go see it because I'm not crazy about the movie experience.
Unless you want to see it on a big screen.
Unless you do. We both went and saw Rogue One over the holiday break.
Yeah.
Did you see it in 3D?
I did.
Do you see it in IMAX 3D?
No.
You saw regular 3D.
Regular screen 3D.
Terrible 3D. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and I can't say that it actually brings any level of enjoyment. In fact, while watching it at the movie theater, and it's a good movie, I was enjoying it, but I kept thinking to myself, I can't wait to rewatch this at home, so I don't have this.
So that my eyes don't hurt?
Yeah, so
my eyes hurt.
This head thing is not on my head, and I can kind of just watch it for the movie part of it, not for the, it's in your face part of it.
It hurt my eyes.
Well, of course it hurt your eyes. It's what it's supposed to do. It's the best part.
You leave a movie theater, and your eyes are just hurting. That's not fun.
Right.
All right, so movies come home. Awesome. Great.
And then there's the one that I'm excited.
Well, I know what you're excited for
because I want it to happen.
The Apple releasing a Dot.
Yes. Well, there's the Home Wars right now, and CES is happening right now, and there's tons of stuff coming out. Home is the new TV. Home is the new Walkman. Home is the new MP3 player. Every year there's sort of something at CES that everybody's talking about. This year feels like, from what I'm reading,
Home has always been this, by the way, at CES.
But the reality of
my story.
The reality
that
is
I've gone to CES.
Yes, I know.
11 or 12 years ago.
Home automation,
and it was all about doing things in the home.
That's right.
With your cell phone, your flip phone.
That's right.
Was gonna control things.
And the reality is that it needed people, or AKA companies, to build hubs that were trusted and with software and voice activation and recognition and all that are part of it. So this has all happened. We have Google Home, we have Apple HomeKit, and we have Amazon Echo is the whatever, Alexa.
Yeah, it's Echo.
And they all have their own thing. I think it's Hey Google.
Alexa, what's the weather?
Alexa, and it's Hey Siri. OK Google. It's OK Google, Hey Alexa, or Alexa.
Not Hey Alexa, it's just Alexa.
Right, they should all be Hey, because then it just makes sense.
Just Alexa.
Anyway.
I like Alexa.
HomeKit, the Apple version, which obviously I'm an Apple person, so I have the ability to talk to the phone, talk to my watch, have things happen in my house. I've sort of been dabbling with it and getting more and more of them and really enjoying it. But having my youngest child receive a Dot for the holidays, and the ease of use of it and the sort of functionality, it makes me feel like there's this missing piece of the Apple trilogy or the Apple story.
Their voice thing, when I talk to, and I have an Echo, so when I talk to Alexa.
I know, I ordered cat food in your house the other day.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When I talk to Alexa or ask her a question, anytime I say Alexa, she picks it up immediately.
Yes.
She's great.
Yes.
When I say Hey Siri,
right,
and my phone's sitting right there,
right,
you're staring at it.
I am staring at it.
Why did it not just be like, hey, what do you want?
Right.
It doesn't wake up.
Well, and I'll tell you,
it's not good.
The difference is because Amazon Alexa and those Dots, that's all they're doing. That's their entire purpose. It doesn't make phone calls. It doesn't play Madden.
Siri. Hey Siri.
Do you even have it on? There you go.
Oh, hi, Hey Siri. Thanks for showing up.
I found some selections up in the air, and knocked up. There are more. Shall I read them all?
No.
No, thank you. So Alexa is definitely more attuned.
Yes,
and
my Siri is a British male.
and it's a singular point in your living room or in your wherever you put it. And I think that's the missing piece for Apple. Apple needs to release, and it's so easy. That thing is waiting for you, but it's doing all sorts of other things. Just build Mini Siri into a thing that has a speaker on it and call it a day.
I like to think my Siri is Matt.
Okay, really. All right. So that was a confidence of 6.
6.
All right. Well,
and you even named it. Go ahead.
Oh, did I? What did I name it?
Well, I don't think you wrote it in the blog, but when we were talking about it, you named it.
What did I call it? The core?
Seed.
Oh, the seed? The Apple seed?
The Apple seed.
God, if that happens, I want money. All right. Speaking of money,
of.
we have tons of stuff coming up. We're just getting back in the swing of things. We have CES going on right now. That's Consumer Electronics Show. We have Spring 17, the preview release. I'm surprised that the preview's out now, the preview release notes, but it's coming in 2 weeks to an orgs. It feels like they're behind.
No, they're ahead.
No. The actual release is coming in a couple weeks. I looked at the trust.
I know
but the final notes aren't out.
What I'm trying, they're behind and ahead at the same time. If that makes sense, they're
Nope.
behind. Well, they're behind on the documentation. They're ahead of when they usually release spring. Spring is normally in February.
Yeah,
like middle February.
but you can't have the documentation not be there, especially when something's coming out in 2 weeks.
Go to the release website. I mean, they're really focusing more on the web than they are these PDFs.
I understand, but the web it's not complete. Anyway, it's weird that it's actually coming in a couple weeks and the release notes are not ready. We also have some other cool news. We can talk about some Apple stuff. So we have tons to talk about in the next couple weeks. Again, we might be having some special episodes coming up soon. But now I'm going to do a very special thing for 2017. I'm going to make 2 picks.
Do your thing. Do it. Make 2 picks.
Well, I'm making your pick first.
Thanks.
Which is an app called PhotoScan by Google. And it's a free app on Android and on iOS that allows you to scan photos like you would, scanning with a scanner. Have you ever tried to scan like an oldie photo off of, take it and throw it in your scanner, or taking it and try to take a picture of it? It just doesn't work. It doesn't come out right. The colors are off. You usually get a lens flare or something. Well, this app is built just to scan old photos, and it does it in this unique way. You take a photo on the top, and then it has you kind of rotate your phone, like moving this little thing around the top, and basically it's taking 4 or 5 pictures, and then it merges them together, creating it, and then crops it. Really, really nice app. I've been using it. We've been going through some old photos and sort of getting rid of them and digitizing them. PhotoScan by Google. You should check it out. Free. And for your iOS users, you can just say export right to iPhoto or Photos, and then there we go. My next one is for those.
Sounds cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was a great pick, Justin. Terrible for you to do nothing.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. The next one is for all you people who got Apple Watches for the holidays and are now all obsessed with tracking all the stuff that the Apple Watch tracks, your health stuff. Well, as you know, all that data goes into an app on your device called Health, and in there, it tracks a lot of stuff. And what's cool about Apple Health or Health is that all this data flows into it from all these different apps. So if you're using a running app, if you're using a calorie counting app, if you're using a weight scale, if you're using your heart rate, it all goes to one place. Neat. And then in the Apple Health app, you can get some graphs and you can see some data, but it's not really that well organized. The data's not that great. But since it's not an open API, but it's an API that you can connect to, a lot of people have built these other apps that can read from the data. You can choose whether you want it to read or write. So I've bought a ton of these because it's fun. You can see the different things by month, my steps by month, my running by day, whatever.
Oh, interesting.
This one's called Health View. It's kind of my new favorite. I use 2.
Your
but
new favorite.
My new favorite. Well, I have a whole folder full of these things. Some are free.
Okay.
but it does some really nice graphing. That's what I really like about it. Is it does some really nice graphing of.
Are you gonna show me?
I'll show you. No reading numbers, thanks.
What do you mean, no reading numbers? That's the whole reason why I'm asking you to see it.
So the thing is, I have Sense, which you have. So Sense puts my sleep in, my steps are tracked, my workouts are tracked. So this is, if you go on the top, right?
So this app just pulls and just visualizes this data in a different way because Apple makes it accessible through.
That's right.
The
it just makes it easier to take in. You can go month view, day view. You can set goals, and it even has an Apple Watch app.
It's a good weight.
It's a good weight. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're doing good, man.
Thanks.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. So it's really neat. There's a lot of these apps. This one I really like. I think
there's 0 minutes.
I think because I haven't synced with Sense today. But it's neat.
Did you work out today?
I did. Wow, you know that.
Because your heart rate jumped to your range is very high.
Thanks.
Not that high. I mean, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't be too proud of that. 158.
Yeah, that's because I worked out today.
Yeah, it's not that great. Whatever.
Anyway, I really find these great, and what I like about it is that Apple isn't trying to create the one be-all health app.
No, they're allowing these other the APIs. Let people do this.
That's right. And there's many of them.
This is better.
And this one's better than the health app.
Yeah.
Right. And I like that you can go in by months and things and see. But it also, again, it has an Apple Watch app that you can get to other health data that you can't get to on your Apple Watch. So anyway, Health View, I think it's free-ish. Maybe you can add on a free thing or something. I don't know.
Tell him Jake sent you.
Tell him I sent you. Really? Who's this Jake person?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Justin.
Whatever.
Way to break out the rust. All right, so we'll be back.
People sort of know you that way.
Yeah, good job.
Good
job. I'll edit it out.
Now they definitely do.
And Justin lives at 4 dash. Oh, sorry.
And Justin lives 5 floors above me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm giving away too much. All right, follow Justin here at Just Edelstein. Follow me at Jason Atwood. At Arkus Inc. is the company. We're on the Facebook at facebook.com/Arkus Inc. Success Community and Power of Us Group Hubs, LinkedIn, Google+. Remember, we always love those. Start off your new year by subscribing and reviewing on iTunes and Stitcher. We will be keeping going on our weekly, semi-weekly, bi-weekly, tri-monthly schedule. But until then, is Justin and Jason saying, enjoy those cloudy days.